Hey guys, it's JD, and today we're going to review another watch. And this watch, in my humble opinion, could be the perfect watch. And what we're going to cover today is the Casio G-Shock GW 6900. And the reason why I say this could be the perfect watch is that with this, watch, you get so many things. You get solar power, you get atomic timekeeping, you get 48 city world time, you get 200-meter water resistance, you get shock resistance, you get 5 alarms, you get all of this and more for like $75. So when you put that package together, uh, that's a lot of bang for your buck. And I've had a lot of watches, and I have to admit that this GW 6900 is my first G-Shock, and I really only bought it out of curiosity because I kept hearing my friends were saying G-Shocks are great and you should have one. And so finally I went and bought one about a year ago. And man, I haven't wanted to take it off since because it's just such a great watch. And today I just want to give you just a brief video about why I love this watch so much, and why, if you don't already own one, you should definitely consider it. But before I begin, just a little background on G-Shock. G-Shock started about 30 years ago within Casio, when an employee of Casio named Kyoko Ibe dropped a watch he inherited from his grandfather, and it broke. And Kyoko decided that he wanted to make a watch that you wouldn't have to worry about that. You wouldn't have to worry about it breaking. And it turned into an obsession. And 2 years later, we had the G-Shock. Now, G-Shocks, the foundation of them is what Casio calls the triple tin. And that's basically, they make these watches to have at least 10-meter fall resistance, 10-bar water resistance or 100-meter water resistance, and 10-year battery life. Now, since its beginning, G-Shock has had countless iterations and different models, and it's really become a staple in areas like law enforcement, military. I mean, even airtight here would probably wear one. Emergency response personnel. I mean, it's really become a staple for these professions, where having a reliable timepiece could very well mean the difference between life and death. So this is a serious watch with serious functionality, and I seriously love it. So in terms of the specs, the case diameter. I mean, it's about 50 millimeters. So it's not a small watch. It's about 18 millimeter thickness. The bandwidth's about 20 millimeters. Band material's made out of resin. Now, even though it's 50 millimeter watch, it doesn't wear that way. I think it wears a little smaller than that, and it's so lightweight that it took me by surprise when I first put it on, because I'm used to wearing a lot of dive watches and chronometers, and watches that are automatic movements and a little bit heavier. And this watch, for how much functionality and how chunky it looks when you put it on your wrist, it's really a dream to wear. So in terms of why I love this watch and why you should consider owning one yourself, there's really three things. The first is functionality. The second is just it's tough. I mean, it's just a tough watch. You don't have to worry about it. You can do anything with it. And the third is its looks. So in terms of its functionality, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's very self-sustainable. It's solar powered, so you don't need to buy a battery. It sets itself every night to one of 6 world atomic clocks. So it has a radio receiver in it that receives a low frequency signal from one of the world atomic clocks. And since I live here in Kansas, the one that I get is the Fort Collins, Colorado atomic signal. So every night, if you're within range, your watch is automatically updated. And I love that. I'm kind of a nerd like that, so I love having a watch that keeps perfect time to the second. And another benefit of having a watch like this is I use it to set all my other watches. So I always know my G-Shock is 100% on point accurate. So when it's time to refresh my watches and get everything up to date, the G-Shock's what I go to. In addition, it's 20 bar, 200 meter water resistant, 660 feet, and shock resistant. I mean, 10 meters, you drop it from 10 meters, which is about a little over 30 feet. So you really don't have to worry about it. And that kind of feeds into the second reason I really love it is it's tough. I mean, I can take this watch diving. I do a lot of adventure race sports. I'm always, in the woods, banging my, arms around, and I've never had any issues with this watch. In fact, with the quarantine that we're doing due to the coronavirus, I took my daughter out to the soccer fields, and she used me for target practice within the goalie for about an hour. And the first watch I grabbed before we left is the G-Shock, because I know there will be no issues at all with it. So really the last, the third reason I just love this watch is its looks. I mean, it is a cool looking watch. It's tough. It's cool. I mean, this, the G-Shock 6900 body is really, it's iconic. It's the most popular Casio design. You see it in Hollywood. You see it in music videos. You see it everywhere. And there's a reason for it, because it just looks really good. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and put it on my wrist, just to give you a little bit of kind of preview for how it looks and how it fits onto my 6 3/4 inch wrist. And there it is. I mean, and like I said, it looks chunky, which I like, but it's light as heck. And I run with it, I go diving with it, adventure races with it. It's just a really, really good watch. For around $75, you can't beat that. So if you're in the market, and I hate when people say beater, if you're in the market for just a good watch, period, consider the Casio GW 6900, because you won't be disappointed at all. So anyways, guys, that is the watch review for today. Again, this was my first G-Shock, and boy, I'm glad I bought it, because it was awesome. If you guys have any questions, or if there's any other types of topics you want for me to review, just go ahead and put them below. Again, I'm going to be coming at you with more and more watch videos. I have a ton of watches I want to review, as well as other items. Yesterday I released a video on a shark mesh bracelet I bought from my Bulova Lunar Pilot. Anyway, guys, comment, subscribe, and stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time.